Look what we have in the studio for you today. We have the Nike Infinity React Flyknits, and these are my first impressions, not a full review. That'll come later down the road. You just gotta bear with me. Once I get about 50-60 miles, we'll come on back and we'll talk about how they felt through that entire time. I took them to the indoor track last night, and I do have a couple of thoughts. Now, before we get into the full impression, I just have to let you know I've never owned a neutral shoe. I typically am a stability shoe wearer. Yes, I wear these big clown shoes day in and day out, and I've avoided neutral shoes like the plague. And the reason for that is because the local running shoes have always advised me to wear stability shoes. But if you haven't seen my video last week where I was speaking about how my wear pattern is actually resembles a neutral runner rather than a true stability shoe runner, I decided to look into getting some neutral shoes. But I didn't want to jump straight up to zero drop shoes and all that good stuff. And in my research, I found the Nike React Infinity runs. And what they claim to do is make your ride a little bit more stable, but it is a neutral shoe. And I thought, great, I'll have the best of both worlds. Let's pick this guy up and let's see how it is. Right, boys and girls, let's get these specs out of the way before we get to the impression. You're looking at a men's size 10.5 right here. The weight of that is 298 grams or 10.5 ounces. Not too heavy, not too light. I think it's just right. Then we go to the heel to toe drop, and you're looking at a 9 mil overall. You get 33 millimeters of stack height in the heel and 24 millimeters stack height in the forefoot. I really like the higher drop. I'm not one for these 4 mil or zero drop shoes, so for me that was bang on. Then we move to what makes this React Flyknit their own, and that is the Flyknit upper. The Flyknit upper on this, they claim to be breathable and durable. Now I could definitely attest to it being breathable because you can see through the shoe. When you look at the shoe, it looks orange. And that's because when you look at it, you're seeing the sole. You can see through the upper. So I question their durability right now, but I'll trust you right now, Nike, but we're gonna revisit 50 to 60 miles down the road, and I'll tell you guys if it is actually durable. Now, when we come up to the ankle booty, this is where things concerned me. I wasn't sure if I'd like this booty style shoe, but you know what? It actually did feel pretty nice. And then another thing is this guide rail. So this is what apparently gives you that extra bit of stability. I definitely felt that guide rail, but I'll tell you about that in a second here. And then we get into the React foam, which again is something the Nike React lineup is famous for. Some people love it, some people hate it, as I've read online. To me, it's nice and plush. You can definitely tell it's a very cushiony shoe. Not too bad, Nike, bang on with the specs. All right, so right off the bat, when I took them out of the box, put them on the ground, put my foot in them, I almost returned them right away. And there's a very good reason for that. And that's because this rail right here, you can feel it dig into your arch like mad. It feels like there's something really just jamming up in there, and I didn't really want that. But I did see online that it kind of molds your foot over time, so I trusted it. I took them to the track, and sure enough, about a kilometer or two into it, I was definitely much more comfortable and didn't really notice it at all. There were times that if I were to stop and stretch or something like that and start again, I could feel it digging in, but it did kind of expand to my foot as time progressed. So that was not a big deal, but that's something you should look out for. When you first try these on, you're gonna feel that kind of push in your arch, but just try it. It will mold your foot, I hope so. Who knows? Maybe it's just gonna keep snapping back and eventually hurt me, I don't know. Now the toe box, that is something I was very concerned about buying a pair of Nike shoes. And that's because every pair of Nike shoes I've owned, they've been so tight. I have a very wide foot and I just found that they're always just scrunching up. But this toe box, you can kind of see it just right here. It's nice and wide, almost too wide. I did feel like my toes could just like freely move everywhere, and I kind of like when my foot's snug and I have some real support in my shoe. All right, so let's talk about that first kilometer wearing these suckers on the track. Like I said, I have my concerns. I was concerned about this guide rail. I was concerned about the booty. I was concerned about it being a neutral shoe, but I put those all aside and just decided to look at the facts of how I'm feeling in the moment while I'm running. And on that first kilometer, I really was concerned.
First kilometer thoughts, I'm nervous.
I didn't know what I just bought myself. I thought I have to take these off right now and return them before I scuff them up because they felt extremely odd. I felt the guide rail pushing into my arch a lot, which was causing my foot to kind of almost go numb, but just, I don't know, felt really weird. I didn't like the booty. I felt like my foot was gonna fly out of it. The toe box felt amazing. Nice and room there, so I was happy with that. And then I could really notice the lack of stability rail right here. So my ankle was going down a bit more, and I just didn't think that I was gonna like the shoe. As I got past that first kilometer, the guide rail kind of expanded, the booty became not noticeable at all, and I really started to enjoy the React foam. It was very responsive, very cushiony. I was able to pick up my pace. That was great. It was an overall great experience after that first kilometer. I want you to know, this is not a stability shoe. You will notice the lack of guide rail right here. So if you do need something like that for your overpronation, you're not gonna get it here. You will need to still stick with your traditional stability shoes, because even I myself, someone that doesn't overpronate too much, just a little bit, was starting to notice a little bit of heel and ankle pain. There was just a little sensation in my left ankle, and it was there through the entire run. Now, this could be because I have weak ankles from wearing stability shoes so darn much. So I am gonna keep pressing forward with these to try and strengthen me, and I think that will help me in the long run to strengthen my ankles. I'm gonna start doing some PT, physiotherapy, to kind of make sure that everything's nice and strong so I don't hurt myself, blow out my Achilles, something like that. I don't wanna do that just for a pair of Nike React foams. These aren't high performance shoes by any means, but I do love them. And it's kind of funny, I don't know why, but I really want to love these shoes. I've been humming and hawing over the last few hours of, should I return them, should I not? And I just can't bring myself to return them because I do think that these shoes are amazingly comfortable. But I am concerned about that little bit of twinge on my left ankle, so it's gonna be something I'll be aware of. Overall, I'm very much looking forward to putting some miles and kilometers into these guys. But as you can see, they're not gonna stay clean very long. One run outside, and I think they're gonna be a permanent brown. But I do still love the color scheme. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Now, who should buy these shoes? If you're looking for a new pair of shoes, who should buy them? If you're in the market for a long run shoe or a nice easy day shoe, definitely something you want to pick up. Or if you're like me and you're used to these big Brooks Adrenalines and big bulky shoes, this could even be a fast day shoe for you. If you're not someone who overpronates much, definitely look into these. If you're someone that's moving from a traditional stability shoe and you've noticed over the last few years your gait cycle has changed since you were prescribed the stability shoes, I think these are a great way to get introduced into the neutral shoe game. These are just my initial thoughts. I'm really looking forward to putting more kilometers in this. I think I'm gonna head to the track right now and put a couple more on them just to see how they feel. I can't wait. To sum it all up, love the shoe. Concerned that it's a neutral shoe, me coming from a stability shoe. Concerned about the durability, but they claim it's good. Loving the foam, loving the little bit of railing we have here. Was concerned about it at first, but now I love it. Can't wait to take it to the track right now. So I'm gonna get ready and do that, and I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to smash that subscribe button because you're gonna wanna hear what these are like after a few more stomping miles are put into them.